Hello students, welcome to another session of All Force e-learning program. I am DNR, your physics lecturer. We were doing with the chapter called vectors. In today's session we will speak about the resolution of vectors into 2 and 3 components. We will study about the resolution of vectors, right? So before that, let's have a recall of what we have studied in the earlier chapters. Physics is a subject of measurement, right? Any entity which can be defined and which can be measured is called as a physical quantity. Anything around us which can be defined and which can be measured is called a physical quantity. So physical quantities are of two types: scalars, vectors. Well, vectors, they do not obey the laws of algebraic rules, ordinary algebraic rules. So hence we have to adopt a new algebra called vector algebra, because they don't follow the rules of scalars, right? So because it is always associated with direction, is it? So you know, vector division is not possible. You cannot divide a scalar by a vector, you cannot divide vector by vector, because division of anything by direction is undefined, you cannot define it. So for this we have to adopt a new algebra called vector algebra. Now in this one we have learned the addition process, subtraction process. In addition we have taken two methods: graph method, analytical method. Graph we have learned triangle law and polygon law. Triangle law, if there are two forces, triangle law; if there are many vectors, polygon law. Next, analytical method. In analytical method we have learned this addition of vectors by Parallelogram law of vectors. We have derived a formula for it and we have taken the illustrations. Even subtraction of vector, we have compared and contrasted with the addition and subtraction, right? We have taken the contrast between these both, how subtraction of vectors is carried out, and we have taken the illustrations. Now let us talk about the resolution of vector. Now what do you mean resolution of a vector? In our environment, we have convented certain directions like east, west, north, south, up, down. We have convented some 6 definite directions. If there is any vector along these directions, we can simply define it that there is a vector along east, a train moving towards in the east direction with some velocity, or velocity of a body if the acceleration of a freely falling body is g in the downward direction. So this way we can define the things. But if there is any vector in any other direction, right, some unknown direction or a direction somewhere in between these two, then we can resolve that vector into our known directions. The process of splitting a vector into the components in the direction, in the known directions, this is termed as resolution. For example, consider a vector a bar. Right? Let's suppose this is x-axis, horizontal direction, and this is vertical direction. This is horizontal and this is vertical. Consider a vector a bar making an angle theta with the horizontal. Well, we know in our environment horizontal and vertical components, horizontal and vertical are known directions. If there is a vector in any other direction, a bar making an angle theta, then we can split the vector a bar into horizontal and vertical components. Right? So for this, drop a perpendicular. Let's drop a perpendicular. Let the vector be OA. When I drop a perpendicular, it meets at B, and this is its. Well, OB is its horizontal component. You know, component is its shadow, its length in this direction. So the length of this vector in this direction is OB, the horizontal component. Right? Let us name it as AX. The horizontal component OB is AX, and the vertical component is OC. This is AY. So this is also AY. Applying simple trigonometry. Now in this one, cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So adjacent is OB, hypotenuse is OA. So this is AX by A. Let the magnitude of vector A bar be A. So therefore cross multiplying, I get AX is equal to A cos theta. Similarly, if I take sin theta from this triangle opposite by hypotenuse, it's AB by OA, that is AY by A. So AY is equal to A sin theta. This is the vertical component. So the horizontal component Ax is A cos theta, vertical component is Ay A sin theta, like this. So this is horizontal and this is vertical. Well, it need not be always horizontal and vertical. It can be in any direction. Suppose if a body is on an inclined plane, the body is on inclined plane like this, then I can take the known directions are parallel to the plane and perpendicular to the plane. So this is the horizontal there and this is the vertical. I can split the vector in any direction, right? So this will be the horizontal component, vertical. So instead of naming it as horizontal vertical, let us name it as in general as the component adjacent to the angle. Adjacent component, the other one is perpendicular component. So the component which is adjacent to the angle, this is adjacent component. The other one is perpendicular component. So the adjacent component of any vector is magnitude of the vector times cos of the angle. The perpendicular component is magnitude of the vector times sine of the angle. Suppose similarly, let's suppose there is an inclined plane of angle theta. A body is on inclined plane. You know, weight always acts in the downward direction, mg. Weight always acts in the downward direction, mg. And you know, by geometry, if this is theta, this is also theta. You know how? So if this is horizontal and vertical, let's suppose this is horizontal and vertical. If I bend my hand like this, the angle through which the left hand bends, it is same as the angle through which the right hand. When I bend like this, the angle through which the left hand is turned, the same angle right hand is turned. So if this is theta, this is also theta. So therefore, now to weight, I want to split mg into components, right? Now I want a component of the weight in this direction and in this direction. This is the component adjacent to the angle. That is called adjacent component. The other one is called perpendicular component. Well, the component adjacent, I said adjacent component is vector into cos of the angle. And the perpendicular component is vector into sine of the angle. Is it? So mg cos theta, mg sin theta. So this way, you can split a vector into the components in a plane into two rectangular components in any direction. You know, you can split a vector into infinite components. In how many components? Number of components for a vector, there are infinite components. You can split it any two directions like this. Suppose I was taking a vector like this, right? If this is the horizontal vertical, I split in horizontal vertical like this. If not, if I am on an inclined plane like this, then this is the horizontal and this is the vertical on the inclined plane. Now I have to split the vector along this and this. Rather than instead of taking it like this, if the body is on inclined plane like this, then you can split into component like this and component like this. So this way, a vector can be split into any components, any number of components. There are infinite number of components for a vector. You know, based on this concept, you can prove the parallelogram law of vectors. Based on this, you can prove the parallelogram law of vectors also. How? You know, I was defining parallelogram law of vectors. The parallelogram law of vectors was defined as if two vectors are represented as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Two vectors A bar and B bar are represented as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram in magnitude and direction. Well, two similar vectors, co-initial vectors starting from the same point. So two similar co-initial vectors are represented as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram in magnitude and direction. Then the diagonal passing through the point of intersection of vectors represents the resultant vector. So the diagonal passing through the point represents the resultant. This is the parallelogram law of vectors. And we have derived the formula also. You can derive the formula by using the components method also. How? Consider two vectors A bar, B bar represented as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. The angle between the vectors is theta. Then the diagonal passing through this is the resultant R. Now I have to find R. What you do is, right, let this be O, A, B and C. Extend OA and drop a perpendicular from B. Extend OA, drop a perpendicular from B. When I extend OA and drop a perpendicular from B, it will meet at D. Yeah, it's meeting at D. perpendicular it is D. And you know this vector is B and this side both are parallel. You know, in a parallelogram opposite sides are parallel and equal. So if this is B, even this is also B. And if this is theta, this is also theta, corresponding angles. They are corresponding angles. And you know, I have even informed you for a free vector, non-localized vector. If a vector is shifted parallel to itself, there is no variation. There is no change whenever a vector is shifted parallel to itself. So let me shift this vector B parallel to itself like this. So this is same. Now apply resolution of vectors. Resolve vector B into components. So when I resolve B into components, now like this. This is the adjacent component and this is the perpendicular component. Resolve only B into components. Split B into components. So B, this is the horizontal component and this is the perpendicular component. The horizontal component is B cos theta and the perpendicular component is B sin theta. So horizontal component is B cos theta, perpendicular component is B sin theta. Now consider the right angle triangle OBD. So this is D, OB and this is D. Now in this one, OD is OA plus AD. So this is OA plus AD. OA is A, AD is B cos theta. So OD is A plus B cos theta. And you know BD, this is B sin theta. And our vector, resultant vector is ROB. Now from this right angle triangle, apply Pythagoras theorem. We know according to Pythagoras theorem, the perpendicular hypotenuse in a right angle triangle, hypotenuse square is base square plus side square. So therefore the hypotenuse square R square, it is A plus B cos theta whole square plus B sin theta whole square. So hypotenuse square is base square plus height square. So it's A plus B cos theta whole square plus B sin theta whole square. Come on, expand. So it's R square is A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B cos theta whole square. B square cos square theta plus B sin theta whole square. B square sin square theta. Well, R square is equal to A square plus 2AB cos theta plus, from these two take B square common, cos square theta plus sin square theta. This is 1 according to trigonometry. It's a trigonometric identity. Sin square plus cos square is 1. So this is 1. So you get R square as A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. And R is equal to root of. You know, no, we have that method, analytical method, diagram method, that was different. You can even prove it by means of the resolution of vectors method also. So resultant vector R is root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Well, the direction angle made by the resultant alpha. Now from this right angle triangle, what is tan alpha? It is opposite by adjacent. Tan alpha is opposite by adjacent. It is opposite B sin theta by adjacent A plus B cos theta. So this way you can find the direction of the resultant. Magnitude of the resultant and direction resultant by components method. By applying the component, taking the components of the vector, you can prove the formula like this. In that we have proved by diagram. By diagram we have proved it. Right now we are proving it by the components method. This way also you can apply the parallel law of vectors there. Okay, right? Yes. So this way we have found the resolution of vectors. You can split the vector into components, and using the components you can find the resultant also. Let us take up the resolution vector in 3 dimensions, right? Let's suppose this is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis like this. Now in this one, imagine a vector like this, P. So OP bar. Let the coordinates of this point be A, B, C. Then, so let me picturize the diagram. When I show the picture like this, right? So OP bar is a vector shown in Cartesian 3D system. OP is a vector shown in represented in Cartesian 3D system like this, right, whose components are a comma b comma c. The coordinates are a comma b comma c. Then the position vector OP bar can be given as ai plus bj plus ck. The position vector of point P from the origin. You know, position vector I was defining, it is the vector which represents the position of the point from the origin. So the position vector OP bar is ai plus bj plus ck. So this is the position vector. What is the magnitude of the vector? Magnitude, it is under root of a square plus b square plus c square, the magnitude. Now if you take up the components of the vector, the component of the vector along x direction, now this component is a, this is x component. The component of the vector along y direction, now this, it is called y component, y, and the component of the vector along z direction, now this is z component, that is c. So x component is a, y component is b, z component is a. This is a, this is b and c like this. So therefore, the component of the vector, x component of the vector is given as, the x component is of a vector is a. You know, component of vector is not a vector, it is a scalar. It is only a mere number. So x component is a. Similarly, y component of the vector is b and the z component is c like this. X component is a, y component b, z component is c. Sometimes he will be asking you the component in xy plane. Now this xy plane, x is a, y is b. The component in xy plane, this is the xy component. So the xy component is given as under root of a square plus b square. Because this is a and this is b, it's a right angle triangle, the component is root of a square b square. Similarly, in yz plane, the component of the vector in yz plane, y and z, the component in yz plane, this one. Now this component, it is under root of b square plus c square, the component in yz plane. Similarly, the component in zx plane, the component, right, in zx plane like this way. It is z and x component like this. Then that is under root of c square plus c square. Component of the vector only along a, along x axis is a, along y axis b, along z axis is c, x axis a, y axis b, z axis is c. Well, magnitude is root of a square plus b square plus c square. X component a, y component is b, z component is c. The component in xy plane, this is the xy plane, x and y. In this direction the component, this is the component. So it's root of a square plus b square. The component of the vector in yz plane, this is y and z. So this is the yz component. So it's root of b square plus c square. And the component of the vector in zx plane, so this is zx plane, this is root of c square plus d square. Right, so that way you can find out the components in a plane, in a direction, in a particular direction like that. Now the direction of the vector is given by directional cosines. The direction of the vector is represented by directional cosines. The directional cosines of the vector. Well, the angle made of the vector with x-axis alpha, with y-axis beta and with z-axis gamma. Then the cos of the angle with x-axis, cos alpha, this is given by a by under root of a square plus b square plus c square. Cos of the angle made with vector with y-axis, cos beta is equal to b by under root of a square plus b square plus c square. The cos of the angle made with vector with z-axis, cos gamma, it is c by under root of a square plus b square plus c square. Cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. These are the angles. And alpha, beta, gamma are the angles made with a vector with x, y, z axis like this. Right? So this way, this is x, This is the angle made with y and this is with z. Alpha, beta, gamma. So cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. These three represents the directional cosines of the vector there. Is it? Then you know from these three you can get an identity. Cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma. If I find cos square alpha, cos square beta, cos square gamma, you please substitute. What is cos alpha? A by root. So cos square, it is a square by a square plus b square plus c square. Cos beta, b by, it is b square by a square plus b square plus c square. And cos gamma, it is c square by a square plus b square plus c square. Well, all the three put together, a square plus b square plus c square is the LCM. In the numerator, it is a square plus b square plus c square. These two cancel, we get it as 1. Now that is the identity regarding the position of the directional cosines of the vector there. Cos square alpha, cos square beta, cos square gamma is equal to 1. Similarly, you can derive, similarly you can find out another identity called sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma. Right, this is 2. Sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma is equal to 2. Cos square alpha, cos square beta, cos square gamma is 1. Sin square alpha, sin square beta, sin square gamma is equal to 2. The relation between the angles, directional cosines. If you know any two angles, you can find the third angle from either this identity or from this identity. You can find the directions there. So these are the directional cosines of the vector. So by rectangular components of a vector in three different directions, x direction, this is x direction, x, this is y direction, and this is along z direction. So by components you can find the position vector of the vector. By first you can represent the position vector, then the magnitude of the vector, then the components along the axis, components in the plane, and the directions of the vector. The direction of the vector given by cosine values, directional cosines, and the identity like this. So this way you can represent the rectangular components of vector in 3-dimensional plane there. Okay, right? So rectangular components in 3-dimensional plane. Now even from this method also you can find the addition of the vectors there. Okay, right? Okay. Let us take an example based on the components. Let's suppose there is a vector a bar given as a1 I cap plus b1 j cap plus c1 k cap. And another vector b bar is represented as b1 I cap plus b2 j cap plus c2 k cap. Then you are asked to find out the addition of the vectors a bar and b bar. So a bar plus b bar is asked you to find out. Well, when you know the components along xyz axis like this, then it's a simple addition there. So just adding the coefficients of the vectors, the components a1 plus b1 of I cap plus a2 plus b2 of j cap plus a1 b1 c1, let us take it as a2 b2 c2 like this. So a1 plus a2 it is. This is b1 plus b2 and this is c1 plus c2 k cap. Well, the vectors a bar is a1i plus b1j plus c1k and b bar is a2i plus b2j plus c2k. Then addition, simple addition, adding the components. So it's a1 plus a2 I cap, b1 plus b2 j cap plus c1 plus c2 k cap. Suppose if you are asked to find out the magnitude of this one, magnitude, it's under root of a1 plus a2 whole square plus b1 plus b2 whole square plus c1 plus c2 whole square. The magnitude of the addition resulted. Now x component, it's a1 plus a2, y component b1 plus b2, z component c1 plus c2. You can find out the components also. Angle and directional cosines, it is x component by total magnitude. Cos alpha, x by this, x component by. Cos beta, y component by. Cos gamma, z component by. So that way you can find out the direction. Similarly, suppose if you are asked to find out what is a bar minus b bar, subtraction of vectors, subtraction minus, then it is A minus B, it's minus, 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 minus. So it's A1 minus A2. So you will get A1 minus A2 I cap, B1 minus B2 J cap, C1 minus C2 K cap. The vector magnitude. So the vector can be now represented as subtraction. It is A bar minus B bar, suppose. Then it is A1 minus A2 of I cap plus B1 minus B2 of J cap plus C1 minus C2 of K cap. If I take the magnitude of A bar minus B bar, it's under root of A1 minus A2 whole square plus B1 minus B2 whole square plus C1 minus C2 whole square. Again, x component, y component, z component. X component is A1 minus A2, y component B1 minus B2, z component C1 minus C2. Directional cosines, cos alpha, A1 minus A2 by the component magnitude, B1 minus B2 by the magnitude, C1 minus C2 by its magnitude. So this way you can find out the addition, subtraction, right, of when components are given, you can find out the thing like this. Not only two, suppose if there are three vectors given like this, there is one more vector, any number of vectors you can add. If there is another vector C bar, A3 I cap plus B3 J cap plus C3 K cap, like this, then the addition of these three, polygon law, when the vectors are more than one, then you can add them. A bar plus B bar plus C bar, just adding the components, respective components, A1 plus A2 plus A3. So it will be A1 plus A2 plus A3 I cap plus B1 plus B2 plus B3 J cap plus C1 plus C2 plus C3 K cap. That way you can find out the vector. Well, magnitude of mod A bar plus B bar plus C bar, it's under root of A1 plus A2 plus A3 whole square plus B1 plus B2 plus B3 whole square plus C1 plus C2 plus C3 whole square. Again, x component A1 plus A2 plus A3, y component B1 plus B2 plus B3, z component C1 plus C2 plus C3. The angle made with x axis cos alpha A1 plus A2 plus A3 by this magnitude, cos beta B1 plus B2 plus B3 by this magnitude, and cos gamma C1 plus C2 plus C3 by this magnitude. So that way any number, suppose if it is instead of A plus B, instead of A plus B plus C, suppose if this is minus, so vector C is minus, take the components negative here. So this will be minus, 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 similar. So whichever way, whatever magnitude, whether it is plus or minus, go according to that. You assign a proper sign to the vector. If it is plus, take plus. If it is minus, take minus. Then add up, get the resultant vector. So this way, you can find the addition of vectors by components. You can find the addition of vectors by parallelogram law of vectors. You can find the addition of vector by graphical method, right? So addition is possible by any whichever way he gives, you can take the problem in that manner. Okay, so this way vectors can be added. Similarly, the subtraction also takes place. A minus B, so assign the proper sign minus to B. So wherever B, if B is minus, take the components minus, just add them. So I was telling you, there is nothing subtraction. Subtraction of vectors is nothing special, different. It is just the opposite vector being added to it. The opposite vector is added to the initial vector. So that way you find out the resultant vector, whether it is addition resultant or subtraction resultant. You find according to the proper, assigning a proper sign to the respective vector, you can find the resultant vector. Okay, right? So this way you find the rectangular components there. Okay, thank you.